And so I think we did a really good big dreamer who really, is very optimistic, and then you need to have someone who's more reserved because the combination will really balance you out in the long term.
Right. And I've got to applaud you because I've done business with family before, and it was weird because I ended up having to fire them. And they weren't as motivated as you two were. I mean, where's the drive come from with your business, Glacé Cryotherapy?
Yeah, there is so much motivation between us both. When we started it, we were both kind of in...
Great idea, obviously. 7 months and you beat out 70,000 applicants for Shark Tank. What do you think set you all apart from the other 69,993 applicants?
Well, first of all, I think we're lucky that we have such an interesting, therapy that we work with. I mean, first of all, when people say, oh, man, you freeze people for 3 minutes, it really catches people's attention. So first of all, cryotherapy is just different. It's a brand new industry here in America. So I don't think they'd ever had seen any audition tapes or anybody go in there and auditioning for cryotherapy. We're probably the first. And then also the fact that we're brothers.
And then you're in business for growing business right now.
Good. Most of my friends, they all want to own their own businesses and do their own things. And I think a lot of millennials are striving, to get to the point where they can, try to do something on their own. Because I do think there's that misconception that we're lazy and we don't care. I can tell you right now that millennials are actually very, very passionate. I just know from my friends that they really do. We all kind of want to do our own thing and, have a huge impact.
Wow.
So I do like the fact that we're millennials and, we've seen quick success. Hasn't been without, the occasional valleys, which, every entrepreneur will encounter.
Right.
But there's been a lot of peaks, which have been fantastic for us so far. Yeah, I think, millennials are very misunderstand money and invest in it. So that was cryotherapy is our first business. And I didn't really take any business courses in college, and neither did my sisters. So we've been kind of learning as we go. But there's no better way to learn than, learning by doing.
Yeah. On a national television stage, I'd say you're doing a pretty good job of learning. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the decision, because you are pitching a part of your equity when you go onto the show. What was the thought process you all had when you said, okay, we'll part with, X amount of the company? What was going through your mind? I guess what was
really, our Glacé
plans for scaling in the next couple of years?
Spas in the whole country. I'm pretty sure 15 of them were in Texas. So it was brand new. And we're kind of, inventing the game as, we were going along, making the rules and everything. And we just said this therapy works so well that it really should be in every single city. And after a year, there's not 20 anymore. There's around 250 locations. So
wow.
It's crazy. Well, yeah, I think episode called 2 days after the show and said, hey, how would you like to put Glacé Cryotherapy inside of our fitness club? I said, absolutely. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, right? I have all these franchise requests. And what's going to happen is we're about to finalize it. Told me, but we have a bunch of franchise fees. I think a lot of investors are going to jump all over it because it's a huge opportunity to own your own business, get into a new therapy that's really taking off, and it's going to be a great model inside of this fitness club.
Well, I tell you, it really sounds like you guys are having some rocketing success. Definitely you and your sister. What's your sister's name?
My sister's name is Brittany.
Okay, we want to give Brittany some credit too, right?
And once I'm able to, present this to the franchise request we've already reached California, my sister and I, we still in person. You can definitely come in, and I'm always happy to discuss Shark Tank and entrepreneurial advice to anybody that walks in while I'm here, which I don't know how much longer that will be, but while I'm here, I'm definitely open to it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Skylar Scarlett. Hey, if you're in Carmel, California, stop by and say hello. Glacé Cryotherapy, thanks for taking your time out on Radio for Small Business.
Yeah, thanks, Eugene.
Connect, capitalize, go.
Hi, I'm Eugene Rowe, host of the podcast For Business. On behalf
we'll operate on-site at our Carmel location. If you want to meet
the Share All Promise.
All new Radio for Small Business. Connect, capitalize, go.
So here's what you should know. Nate Barbera and Desiree Stoller's business all started when